Good afternoon. We want to thank everybody for coming out. We're here to talk about a peaceful demonstration that we're having Thursday, 5:30 p.m. at City Island. It will start at City Island. It will be a march in peace to remember the victims of these horrible crimes that have happened. I want you to know that we in law enforcement do a good job every day, especially here in Daytona Beach. Do the right thing. We train our officers to de-escalate, do the right thing, follow the law, and always look out for our public and our community. I'm condoning the acts that happened in Minneapolis. I don't consider that officer a police officer. I consider him a murderer for what he did. It doesn't mean that we need to result in violence and burn things down and destroy innocent people's properties and homes. We need to come together as a community, as a nation, in peace. Peacefully protest. That's under the right of our First Amendment rights. And we're going to do that here in Daytona Beach. We have a great relationship with our clergy, with our community, and we're going to be able to do this together and partner with them and have a peaceful demonstration. It's a time for change. With that being said, I'm going to have Pastor Monzel. He's our police chaplain. He'll talk further.
Just want to thank each of you for coming out today. And like the chief may mention, this protest that we're doing this Thursday is for us to come in solidarity with what's going on in the nation. We know here in Daytona Beach that we don't have the issues that a lot of law enforcement officers are having with other individuals. So this is why we want to continue to bridge the gap with the community, to let other people know throughout the nation that we're in solidarity with you, we feel for you, and we acknowledge what we saw is wrong. So this protest that we're going to do is going to be amongst, again, city officials, different spiritual leaders, and the community. We invite all faith, all background, all race to come out and join us peacefully. We're going to meet 5:30 at the City Library. And again, we call this as a peaceful protest. And that's very important that we express that because of what we see. We're not going to have any of the craziness that we do see other places. Daytona Beach is known for the most famous beach, but we're also known to have a peaceful, good relationship with our local law enforcement. Not only of our local law enforcement going to be involved, but they're going to be side by side with us in the walking alongside of us, because they are not only men and women of law enforcement, but they're men and women of this community. We also have the mayor of our great city who's going to be involved. He's going to greet us at City Hall, where we're going to meet, and he's going to share some words, and he's going to actually open up the heart that we have for the city, for this people. Speaking of which, because Mayor understands the importance of the unity and commitment that we have with the community, he decided to come here last minute. All this is last minute. But he said, look, if this is something that we're doing, I'm on my way. And he got here on time. So with no further ado, because I know that his time is precious, I'm going to introduce the mayor of our city, Derek Hillman.
I think this is most appropriate for us as a community. It is important that the voice of George Floyd be heard around the world, the I can't breathe voice. It is a voice that should not be silenced. And while we are proud of our law enforcement and proud of our civic and community leaders and proud of all that they do to keep us a unified community, we recognize that there is yet work to be done, not only in our community but across this nation. And we are committed to engaging in that work collectively and doing so in a peaceful manner. And that is the essence in which this is being organized. So I thank everyone that is involved, and I'm delighted to be the mayor of a city where we can come together under such stressful and trying times to do something, not only to honor the memory of a man who lost his life clearly in a senseless, violent, murderous manner, but to say that as a community, we're going to do something to bridge the gap between those who have and those who have not, to bridge the gap between those who are hurting, and to heal the wounds that this unfortunate situation has opened up in our nation. So I'm again want to thank all of my colleagues and leadership in our community for deciding to do this, and to do it in a manner that I think not only honors him, but honors Daytona Beach, our traditions, and will help to propel us in the direction that we want to go, which is forward, together, united. Thank you.
And right now I'd like to introduce the president of the Daytona Beach Black Clergy Alliance, Reverend Gooden.
Thank you, Chief, and others who are here. Our peaceful protest is just that. It's combined with other groups such as MLK, Committee of Florida, and we've got Ms. Kim Brown Crawford, who's going to say a small piece about their involvement, clergy. And let me say this about our police here in Daytona Beach. Not only will the policemen be protecting us, they're going to be holding signs in protest against this violence. It's unnecessary. The police violence going on over the country, and we're blessed in Daytona Beach that we don't have these things going on in our city. And anyone that doesn't comply with what we ask them to do, the police will take care of it. But a peaceful march, you can check our Facebook page out, Daytona Beach Black Clergy Alliance on Facebook. We are there, and a copy of the flyer, it's being posted. There's a flyer going out. We'll make sure all the media get a copy of that flyer so you have all the information. It's been updated right before the conference. So this is a brand new information on it. I want to thank all of the committee members that worked so hard in this quick time to turn this around to get it done. And it was a quick work. And it's okay if I ask Ms. Crawford from MLK. All right.
Good afternoon. I'm Kim Brown Crawford, and I represent the Martin Luther King Celebration for Florida of Daytona Beach. It is so fitting that our committee do a non-violent protest, because that's what Dr. King stood for. We are so much better than what we're seeing on TV. We can have a peaceful march, get our points across. We have to make sure that we don't make this just a one-time thing. Unfortunately, there may be another George Floyd that's going to come around, but we have to keep steady and make sure that our lawmakers, our legislators are hearing. Dr. King has to be turning over in his grave to think that this kind of stuff is still going on in 2020. So that's why we are making sure that our voices continue to be heard in a peaceful manner, but forceful, strong, that this cannot continue. The frustration that you see in other cities is because they have no confidence in the justice system. We have seen it time and time again where people seem to get away with murder. That's why you see that frustration. But we're asking everybody, if you're coming out on Thursday, please come. We hear you loud and clear, but please come peacefully, and please come with a good heart. If you have a good heart, you don't turn over buildings, you don't set fires. But please know that we are working behind the scenes to do everything possible that we can to make sure that things happen appropriately to people who commit crimes. It's just black and white. If you commit a crime, whether you're a policeman, whether you're a pastor, you should be punished for the crime. Thank you so much.
So once again, this is going to pretty much conclude the press conference. We just want to reiterate that this is going to be a peaceable protest. Is there anyone else that has words?
We're going to open up to questions now.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Chief, my station Fox 35.
Yes.
Your recruitment policies, do you say you do de-escalate? Do you train recruitment people?
We train
right after that?
everybody in the department goes through de-escalation training. From the first time they start, we do refreshers on a yearly basis. I'm proud to say we were, Daytona Beach Police Department and the Volusia County Sheriff's Office were subject matter experts, where we went to New York City with several other law enforcement officers from around the country and created the plan for de-escalation tactics. And those tactics are being used around law enforcement agencies around the country today. So I'm proud to say we had a piece of that and a part of that. The goal is always to de-escalate. You don't want to artificially escalate something. You got to police smart, you got to police using common sense and do the right thing. And I can tell you, this senseless violence against law enforcement as a result of this, I don't think Mr. Floyd would want this. There's police officers getting killed out here every day over this incident. There's innocent people, not that aren't law enforcement, that are just minding their own business. They're getting killed, assaulted, and beaten and attacked. There's businesses that people worked their whole lives and invested money in are getting destroyed by a criminal element embedded in good people, where there's good people trying to do the right thing and peacefully protest, are causing this chaos and mayhem. Police officers go to work every day, 99.9% of them in this country, to do a good job every day, to help their communities, to serve. They leave their families behind, not know if they're going to come home alive at the end of the night. We have enough problems to deal with, dangers to deal with of the job, and now COVID-19, let alone to have, some people out here trying to, openly fire. 4 police officers shot last night in St. Louis. Another officer shot in the head in Las Vegas. This is unacceptable, and it won't be tolerated. Let's come together as a nation, as a community. Let's learn from this. Let's work together peacefully like we do here in Daytona Beach. You have to police smart. You have to police with the community. The community's got to be a part of this. You can't, 250 cops aren't going to solve your problems. You need to have a community piece in there, and that's what we've been stressing for decades. It took decades to build this up, to have a good community, a great community. So I know the citizens in my community, the businesses in my community won't tolerate this. They know what their police department does because we're transparent. And we do everything we can to make the perfect officer out there, knowing we're probably never going to hit perfection, but man, we're going to come close. So let's stop the violence. Let's work together. Let's make a change out here. Let's have a great, peaceful march, in Mr. George's honor, and all those other victims that had problems and were murdered at the hands of. And I'm not calling them police officers because they're not. When you cross that line, you're no longer a police officer. They don't deserve that title. They don't deserve that title. And they'll be held accountable for their actions as they should be, to the full extent of the law. We don't tolerate it. That's not what we're about.
Chief, I think you touched on this before, but can you elaborate on why the police department is getting involved as a sponsor?
Because we're part of the community, Frank. That's what we do. We're here 7 days a week. We're here at night. We're at events. You guys follow us. I know you guys like to attack the small stuff, the little minutia of stuff that you might think is that we're doing wrong. But every day we come here trying to do a good thing. We're part of the community. The police are the community. We're the police. We all work together. That's why we're involved. We're upset about what happened to Mr. Floyd. This is ridiculous. This makes police officers around the country. I got police officers dying as a result of his actions. There's dead police officers because this idiot of what he did. So yeah, I'm upset about it. And
No, I want to join you because I want to. Boy, why is he in this? Because he cares.
Yeah.
He cares. The officers care. You got Daytona Beach police officers who don't want this thing like it is. They don't want rogue policemen and all this kind of thing. So they're joining in with the community, with the clergy, with community.
This is nothing new.
Groups.
We've been doing this for years.
We've been doing almost 30 years.
Yeah,
now.
30. When there's not time of turmoil, we're still together. We're having meetings. We meet all the time. So we consider ourselves part of the community. We treat this community like our family, and that's why we've been successful. Because number one, we do the right thing, and we preach the right thing, and it starts from the top down to me, to my deputy chief, and the rest of the command staff, down to the supervisors, the field supervisors, and the officers. And we don't go cheap on training. We invest whatever it costs, whatever it takes to put the best product out there for our community, so we have a great community, a safe community that can trust their police. And that's all. It's real simple. When you keep it simple, you don't have issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chief, are you hearing anything from our community in terms of just what they're seeing around?
Support. I've received numerous calls of support. Everybody, whenever there's unrest around the country, I'm proud to say it, that we don't have those issues here in Daytona Beach. Not saying that it can't happen, but our local base here understands how transparent we are. I mean, between the meetings we attend every community meeting every month, our ComStat meetings, when you can pick up the phone and call the police chief, the deputy chief, and the captains as a citizen, you tell me where you have that. You got citizens calling us day and night because we give our numbers out because we want to be able to get on any issues and problems immediately and quell them and get a resolution to their complaints. So I think you invest in your community, it's going to pay you back 100 times fold. And that's what we do here. We're not drama, not a lot of drama here. It's like do the right thing always and look out for the community, and we get through this together as not only partners but as friends and as family. And it's worked for us, and I hope other agencies do that too. And I know we're not going to change, right? So. Yep. Anything else? Okay. Thank you.